Welcome back to the Forge of Champions. You are experiencing a very, very clean Enclave team right now. They look really, really good. XL have got to find some kind of inner fire to find their way back into this game. And it's XL territory. It is 0-2 for XL, which is territory for them. They know where what it feels like in a final as well to be in this position. But goodness me, they need to work hard to get back into this series.
Yeah, there hasn't really been anything for me where I'm kind of like, okay, cool, this is the point that they can play around. Like, apart from Quickset, who's had some good engages and looked good on the pike, that's been kind of it.
There hasn't been many great moments for XL throughout the first two games at all. There have been fantastic moments for Enclave, and even the Baron steal or the Baron attempt we saw in the last game was such a desperation. Like, we need to get this, otherwise we just lose, full stop, end of sentence. And honestly, like, you know, yes, we're into XL territory. They are the kings of reverse sweeps as such in the UK scene, but like I said before, when we talk about reverse sweeps, it's something that we need to see them do, be competitive in the first two games.
We don't need to have the Great Forge Bake-Off today. We have indeed got picks and bans really quickly here, and XL back on the blue side. I'm worried because blue side XL means they have to pick something blind for Sendu, and that gives Rifty the opportunity to do Rifty things. Although the early laning phase was good for Sendo last time.
It was, but at the same time, you know, Sendu got the counter pick, quote unquote, as such last time, and it still didn't really amount into anything. Like, it wasn't a significant enough lead to really keep it for him.
I don't like Ergot. I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah, and with the way they were playing, I actually would have liked them gone to an R, which is what you said. I think that would have been a really, really nice pick. Would have been great follow-up engage for the...
I even would have liked Fiora. Even though it pigeonholes your strategy. I mean, you consistently throughout the game beat Mundo when you get, especially when you get towards your later game items, because of the true damage. The Gnar has the percentage health-based damage on his hyper, abuses Mundo from range. You can even build Blade of the Ruined King Gnar. It's not awful.
And he still has the hard engage, which is like the big thing that I felt like, you know, the Urgot just didn't do last game.
Point though, Aaron no longer has Yasuo.
No, that's going to be going over to XL this time round. Rifty hovering his top lane Xin, which he used to love and always talked about playing. But the Yasuo now could either go to Venza, Rippy, could go to multiple people, and actually Enclave are going to respond with the Swain.
I actually think XL are kind of showing that maybe they haven't thought out this draft a huge amount, because they banned the Alistair away from Hado and then first picked Yasuo. And that seems really, really odd to me if you know that you're going to be taking the Yasuo. So
Quickseth was a good Alistair. Quickseth was a good Alistair.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but like Quickseth has just been good in general.
But I guess what you are worried about is that if you first pick Yasuo, they're going to pick Alistair. They are going to pick Alistair, so you just maybe don't want to give it over.
And it's such a strong support that you just don't want to give it away.
Swain's got a 0% win rate, by the way, and on this series so far. Enclave have now picked it up. They also have Monkiz on his Sejuani. That's a really big pick for him. He's done well on that in the past.
Yeah. And I like this as well. If you're talking about big picks for junglers, Taxer's Trundle was amazing yesterday and has been very strong for a while. So I'm hoping maybe this is something that they can just use to bring it out, because it hasn't been looking hot so far.
Right, this is a tough choice for XL now. Do you pick up a support for Quickseth knowing that they might be targeted in the next round, or do you just go ham?
I think you gotta go ham or go home. It's gotta be pick something that you feel like will work. You got the Darius
that's a statement.
Locked in, and that is going to be up against Rift. But now they've got the opportunity. If they don't pick the top laner here for Enclave, they've got the opportunity to ban out everything that's bad against Darius.
Yes.
Or rather, good against Darius.
But what is good against Darius is the question here. Usually things like Gnar are pretty good. Anything range generally does well. That is some music.
Yeah.
Thanks, production.
Well, looks like... I didn't realize we started drinking already.
I was going to say, with the dancing, you can tell just like how much of a white guy we are. Just like immediately.
Look,
like,
I know that my dancing's bad. I was like, I'm not
I'm really hoping that on stream you can't actually hear this music.
Oh, I'm just talking about somebody.
You know, the headphone discos. It's just like...
But Shen locked in.
Yeah, I actually like the Shen here. I think it's good. It provides the global pressure that they really want. Could also go down towards Hado. So I think you just kind of like, you're kind of messing around with the draft a little bit, but I think it does okay into Darius. He can kind of hang on for a little while against them.
I mean, the zone of no basic attacks.
Yes, is pretty
I
hard.
can't remember what it's called.
The
Something
Spirit's
Refuge.
Spirit's Refuge, yes.
Yeah, that's really good at denying stack building in crucial
Yeah.
moments for Darius. You can also use it to block his W, which is a really
Yeah.
important part of his kit for building those stacks and getting the engage happening. So, yeah, I think this is could have been. But the thing about it is that as you can see the top lane bans coming through, it throws the question up to XL as to whether it is going to be top lane or is going to go down to Hado in the bot lane.
It's kind of fine either way. I feel like I personally would think it would be better in terms of top lane, just the way kind of things are going. But like you said, with the top lane bans coming in, they might be forced into the kind of, just chucking it top. But that means they've opened themselves up to so many options in that bot lane for AD carry.
They are banning Quickseth related supports right now. So the Camille ban comes through, and now I imagine Enclave are going to want to make some sort of choice about their counter pick for red side. So I think they maybe pick their top laner here, and then they leave their mid lane pick, if it is going to be Swain bot lane, over to their last pick.
I'm wondering if that Yasuo is actually meant for Venzer in the bot lane.
Yes.
Because we did see it before. I mean, it could be flexed about it like Teripi as well, but I think it'd be interesting to see where that actually does end up. I think I'd probably like it onto Venzer a little bit more, and then if you're against that Swain in the bottom. Oh yeah, it's going to have to be Swain in the bottom lane. Well, it could be top, but I think it is going to be Bendy on the Swain. So I think I like the Yasuo in the bot lane. So I think you just pick up a good matchup for the Rise here. Like Galio could definitely do the trick.
Galio's an interesting one. It's definitely a protect the Yasuo style composition coming out here. Yasuo hyper carry for Venza, and now we need to see a support locked in for Quickseth with, I would preferably want a knock up or some kind of ability.
Braum, but which?
Braum is okay.
Available.
Braum is good.
A lot of damage mitigation.
I don't even think Quickseth's Thresh is that bad of an idea here.
Yeah.
But I think Braum is the safer option for me.
See, the only thing is with Braum, you kind of lack the big engage, and that's what I was looking for. Is where's the engage coming from?
Who is the
Gotta
Twitter?
be the Leona.
Someone on LVP's UK Twitter
loves going
Leona.
nuts
Where is
right
he?
there.
Where is he? He loves Leona, and he finally got it in the final. Potential final game. It was for you.
That's some counter hard engage coming out, especially if that's going to be Shen bot. Shen taunts in, Leona stuns or uses her Zenith Blade to jump straight onto the Swain, and then you have an engage with the Yasuo. You've also got the ability to easily proc the Sunlight. I think it's called. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Daybreak or Sunlight or something.
Yeah.
It's been
Something
a long
like
time.
that. We'll look it up when we're
long
not on
time
camera.
since I've seen Leona. But that is the pick that I expected into the Darius. It's probably the most meta Darius counter because of the range advantage that you have, obviously.
That hurts that bottom lane though. Like Venzer on the Yasuo and Quicksett on Leona, that is a lane that does not care about, like, if you want to disengage, it's like, cool, you get the CC down and then you just follow up with a knock-up. And if you're Swain in those early stages, he's still pretty squishy. He hasn't got that Rod of Ages. He doesn't have a huge amount of health, and he can go down very quickly to a combo like that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that is going to be, I mean, that's a kill lane.
Yep.
It's picked to be a kill lane.
That is solo queue, as solo queue as it gets.
That is as solo queue as it gets. So this is a big shake-up for XL's draft here. They finally give priority to the Yasuo, which had been going over to Enclave. Enclave decided to take the Swain train for a ride and see if it lands them into a not loss or a win.
Not loss.
Yeah, I know. We'll skip over that.
I wanted to bring up as well, they took your advice, be it intentional or not. This is a much simpler team comp to kind of just run in with team fighting. It's 100%. You have a very clear goal, you have a very clear execution of that goal, and it's just like it either works or it doesn't. Whereas on the side of Enclave, they've kind of stuck to what's been working for them in the sense of, like, big beefy front line and just have, kind of high damage coming in from Aaron and Bendy.
Yeah, that is high damage. It is magic damage orientated. I mean, Gnar will drop off towards the mid-late game in terms of his own damage output. However, this is a good matchup for Rifty again. I mean, Darius into Gnar is decent for the Gnar.
Yeah. But I like that they've kind of gone, okay, look, Darius is just fine. Darius just does well. Yes, it's good. The Gnar works. But they're going in on Venzer this time. The last two have kind of been Sendo is going to be our split pusher. This isn't the way that this composition is now going to work. It's all in on this Venzer. And I like how they've gone for a composition that can make plays very early. And a very aggressive play that you can make is if you use the Galio at the level 6 to start up with the Leona as well. Because you've got that instant CC. You've got a lot of follow-up. You've got a big knock-up that can come down. That's a very, very strong combo that can just happen, especially if you've got Taxer coming through on that lane as well.
Open with Leona's ultimate.
Yeah.
You then cast Hero's Entrance as Leona uses Zenith Blade. Set up for a really big knock-up with Venzer in tow. good combination there. Again, easy to pull off in strict teamfight scenarios. My only worry is, once more, like if Rifty runs away with this top lane, the Darius is going to become an actual potato. Genuinely going to be awful. Because Darius, when he's behind, offers absolutely nothing to a team. There's not even utility that Darius offers. The only thing he will offer is a true damage execute, which will always be there. And he can always pop off, even if he's behind, he can pop off given the right scenario, but that does rely on the rest of your team doing well. So we have the damage stats from some of the previous games here. This was the last game. Look at Venza's damage in that last game. 23,600. A good 4,000 above the closest, which was Lucian. Overall...
Look at Rippy versus Quicksand.
Yeah.
That's the one I want to look at. Because, like, Rippy's the one who should definitely be doing more damage than Quicksand.
Yeah, and Quicksand did have big ultimates. They are huge damage outputs there. But overall, I mean, XL keeping on tabs in terms of damage over in that game.
Monkiz was nearly twice the damage though of Taxer.
Yeah.
Like, and in two similar style junglers. Like, I know Gragas has a little bit more damage because he goes with the Runic Echoes a little bit more earlier, but that is a massive jump in terms of damage as well from the last game. So, and honestly, Monkiz has been setting up his lanes perfectly to let Rifty just basically take over the show.
Look at Rifty versus Sendo.
Yeah.
Rifty did 1,200 more damage than Sendo.
On the Urgot.
On the Urgot. So, I mean, Rifty had a much larger impact in terms of total team fight impact there. But honestly, Venza, and this is something that Venza does consistently, he always puts huge amount of team on his back when he actually starts to perform. He's a big damage dealer, always has these huge numbers that he puts on the board. Obviously, damage dealt does not always equal good job, but as an AD carry, often it sort of shows
the easiest metric. Yeah.
It shows good positioning. We actually have a tweet here. Let's have it. Yeah, we saw this one. So, if you guys were listening earlier, we were talking a lot about food.
I wanted to be Mary Berry.
Who am I?
I don't know. I think you're the new, what's his name?
You look like
Noel
pajamas.
Fieldings.
I thought it was bananas and pajamas, to be perfectly honest.
I think it's the man.
I do look a bit like Noel Fielding.
Yeah,
that's something
I
Noel
think
Fielding would work.
It's very Noel Fielding-esque in the new season of British Bake Off.
I haven't watched since.
I haven't watched
since a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
If we could go to like shows I watch.
It's on Betfix.
I swear that's actually a website.
That is probably a website.
Let's not.
No, don't go that
just so you're clear,
yeah.
we do not promote gambling or esports gambling in any way, shape,
or
form.
esports.
Or
esports.
We have another tweet. This is from this is actually from the XL. Believe it or not, the XL community manager or the XL social media manager. Time for the XL lads to focus and play around Sendu. Scoundrel is fit. Get me on stream. He only said that to get on stream. By the way, I mean.
Well, actually, let's have a look at history and how the amount of people who literally, when you're put up, is just like, oh, who's that? Who's that fit guy on the left?
No one says that.
Everyone. You check Twitter.
Yeah. Yes, there's a guy yesterday who said that.
Yeah, literally a guy
I got one
yesterday.
tweet.
Nah, but look, it's always one.
It's 2 for 2.
That's 2
always.
That's 2 for 2. Results-based statistics.
I remember Twitch chat at Four Nations, and I got tilted.
That was a long time ago.
So Four Nations was a tournament yonder years back, when the UK scene was first blossoming. And
my first big gig.
Yes, and also mine, to be honest.
Oh.
Twitch chat told me my eyes were too small for my head.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not very nice.
Thanks, Twitch
PTSD
chat.
just like running back through your head. Like
I do have moderately small eyes, but Twitch chat did.
See, my eyes are deceptively small because they look great, but then you take off the glasses and you go small. And then all of a sudden I'm tiny. It's just how it works.
Right, we are already into game. We are about 2 minutes in. Laning phase has started. Let's go. Final game of the... Well, not final game. Potentially final game. I was calling it a little bit too early there. Enclave versus XL.
50% to 33% chance this is the final game. But yeah, we're looking forward to getting into this one now and seeing how it's going to wear down. Because already we have Rift putting a good chunk of damage down onto Sendo, but does have Taxer waiting in the wings.
Yeah, it's a level 2 gank. We see the upper hand taken immediately. They just want to burn the flash. They actually get the flash out of them. They maybe get a little bit more damage. A lot of damage actually as well. Sendo forced to flash as well. And that is going to be flash for flash after a pretty decent gank coming out from Taxer. And Already we're seeing, you know, kind of small little bits of tilt popping out.
Why are you going there? Like, you're level 1 trying to tower dive the Gnar. Yes, you got the flash out. That's great. Just back it up. You can go and do that again any other time. Like, there's no reason to try and go that aggressive.
And the fact that he takes Apprehend first as well means that they were 100%, that was a plan. That was planned for them to go for that. And you got the result. The most ideal result from that is that you get the flash. Yes, fair enough. Obviously, the perfect result is get the kill, but you could be happy with a flash. And now he unfortunately mitigates it back to a 1-for-1 thing, as such as we see.
And he's taken terror. He's dead.
He's dead, yeah. He's 100% dead. And that is just... Oh, this is the tilt we were talking about, as I say. Oh, actually, the bleed comes in, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but that didn't have to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of luck more than anything else. That was one of the final ticks of the bleed that was coming through. So it wasn't. No, there was just... That was just misplays coming through, trying to put the damage down, taking up the third aggro, and Sendo already, like, yes, it kind of helps that you got a little bit of that... the help coming through from the minion line, but you can see now he's walking back to lane, because if he goes for the teleport, it could easily be Munkus that goes up. He's a bit low at the moment, so maybe not, but at the same time, this is not the start that you want, especially when we're talking about Venzer has such a good start to this game with the champs that they picked and the way they can play around them. Having committed all that to top lane, I feel like the idea was we'll get a safer lane for the Darius. Yes, the Gnar is going to hurt him, but once he's got the flash burned onto Rift, it's much easier for him to try and play it safe. Rift can't go as aggressive because he doesn't have that safety, and that's how we kind of get ourselves started in this top lane, but it never came to fruition because the messiness that Sendo's kind of started. Like, he's Mega Gnar. You just end up taking all that damage, and yeah, I don't get it. I mean, and you can see Rift here, he takes 1 or 2 unfortunate shots, and it's going to be the bleed that takes him down, but at the same time, come on.
There were 1 or 2 small little caster minion shots in there that actually, in this early game of the early stage of the game, actually make a huge difference. Those are 1 or 2 extra little ticks, so definitely a lot luckier for Sendu, and you could almost see if he didn't get that kill, that lane's done. It's over, and it's now been, you know, kind of reset as such. Rift has not got his teleport now available for him. Quickset is still on this Leona in the bot side. We actually see a little bit of a gold lead now building for the Swain and Shen combo of Enclave. And we'll have to see now, where does Taxer go? And Taxer, I feel like he's going to feel a little bit of pressure. He might go back towards this top.
I actually feel like XL are kind of falling into what we saw Diablos do yesterday, where they just continuously play around this top side of the map. We haven't seen them play around Venzer. They haven't really gone to go for Rippy, and I feel like this is the game where they were to play around Venzer and Quickset. These guys have been doing great. They've been the shining light for them, and now they might lose out because of this gank.
Yeah, Sejuani finds herself in a fantastic position. Ignite goes down, Zenith Blade, but another stun. You waste a flash. Now Venzer's in a little bit of trouble. He gets stunned up. They're just trying to get a little bit more damage on top of him. They end up not taking him down, but overall, flash burn by the Leona has got Hex Tech Flash, so not exactly a huge deal, but it's so easy, no vision control. No vision at all.
And you can see, like, Enclave were like, alright, we are super scared of this bot lane. We've got the cleanse onto Bendy again to try and keep him safe. Actually, a good trade going into the top lane, though.
Yeah, they do get a lot of stacks. There's a lot of true damage. Going to keep ticking down. Has got Mega Gnar form, so isn't going to quite go down just yet, but that's a huge, huge amount of damage. And we talked about how Gnar is actually kind of a good matchup into the Darius. Sendu is trying to turn that around, and I feel like if he can constantly push back Rift has no teleports. Rift is going to lose this lane, and it's just going to be absolutely massive if he doesn't actually take control of this.
Yeah, Rippy is going up towards the top side, though. They could end up going for the dive. Has been spotted by Munkus.
Yeah, Munkus does find Rippy, and Rippy's going to be able to get a little bit of a taunt as well. They have got the concussive, the stacked stun on top of him, so good trade of damage. Krugs as well trying to come in to
see that Munkus was trying to move up there to help him collect that and keep himself safe, so then he didn't lose out that much to Sendo, but having Rippy come through there meant that they were forced to back away. Munkus wastes time alongside Rift, losing out on all that golden XP. So overall, big boon for Sendo in that top lane, and that's exactly what he needs right now.
Yeah, it's exactly what he needs, and you know, Sendu, he's definitely been a bit of a, you know, kind of an interesting top laner to look at throughout multiple tournaments throughout the year, and even previous towards that. And you know, he puts down a lot of, you know, kind of good pressure, but every now and again you just feel like he's just not quite there. I feel like if he doesn't perform on this Darius, he's never going to perform on anything pretty much in this kind of a series ever.
I think that's a bit of a tall order because he has been performing previously. I just feel like this isn't the Sendo that we've seen, like that we've known so far. Like this is a guy that could take over top lane. Has kind of been one of the go-tos. I would have put him as one of the top laners that we had, but has not shown it this time. I'm sure we were singing his praises yesterday, but this time it's just a different guy. I don't know where the other, like, what happened to the old Sendo?
Yeah, Twins were replaced with a different dog for the dog role. You know, not quite the goodest boy anymore.
Yeah, but here comes the engage in the bot lane. Quickset gets in.
Yeah, he does get in, but there is still a taunt available and the Demon Flare as well for Bendy, so they're not really able to get much out of that. They do not have level 6s just yet. They don't quite burn anything really, just kind of a disengage and push in the wave. As we see Aaron going to be able to get a lot of damage there onto Rippy. Nice little trade for him. Has got his tier stacking, and it's going to feel pretty good about that right now.
Yeah, I like that Excel are playing around bot lane now, because if they can start to get, you know, a few of these summoner spells gone, just as we were talking about with Excoundrel, if the Solar Flare can come down and set up for Rippy in this situation, it can be great. So having Taxer come down just that slightly before that level 6, was hoping to burn a few summoner spells and try and make that a bit of an easier situation to go for, but unfortunately hasn't come to fruition for them. So Bendy and Hado get out unscathed and will come out with all summoner spells intact.
And Bendy is slowly but surely building up a nice CS lead as well. Natural, realistically, for the Swain to do, but you do need to be able to get those kills if you're on the Yasuo, because you, as we talked about, you picked a kill lane, you picked a solo queue as it comes. You need to turn it into something big, and hopefully for the side of XL and their fans, they can find something pretty soon. But you know, Swain and Shen is so safe.
Yeah, and right now they're just losing out on CS. So overall, even the kill lane pressure that you have hasn't really worked out for you in that respect. So I'm not sure how this is going to continue forward, particularly when Hado has now got that Sands United available. You got the Demonic Ascension there too. So a lot of healing, shielding, everything is going to come down, and they've got the Catalyst completed as well, so even that little bit of poke that you can try and put down with a stray Tornado coming through is going to be healed up very quickly.
Yeah, we might actually see a full engage dive bot here from XL. They have got the Galio here as well, but there's no real minion wave. They're going to have to back away, so wasted time overall from XL.
Yeah, and it's pulling Rippy out of lane. Now you can see that because of these kind of movements that he's trying to go for to help out Sendo in the top, and now to try and get into the bot lane, he's slowly kind of fallen behind to the wave clear of Rise, because Aaron is able to shove in these waves very, very quickly and will punish anything that Rippy really goes for. Oh, he missed!
Oh, he misses the knockoff, forcing his own flash out of that as well. Now Venzer, as the TP comes in, is forced to back away, but that's a good solo flare, and it's actually a kill straight away. Nar comes in off the backside, is only able to ult away. Venzer actually gets the Galio ult on top of him. I feel like it was really, really misused, as they just finally get the engage coming back down on top of this. But here come the dunks. They finally get the engage, and XL may be able to turn this one around. Aaron in a bad position. He's going to get dunked as well. Stand United. Will it be enough? I'm not quite sure. No, it will not, and he falls as well. The taunt comes in, but it doesn't land on the Rippy, and this is such a long engaged fight. Hado goes golden, but only for a little while. XL, despite the really poor start, come out huge in their fight.
And once again, we said it, rally around Quickset. The big turnaround came from him. That solar flare turned it all back onto Enclave, and what looked like a victory saw Sendo come down, apprehend multiple different members, and Enclave crumble. Hado delivers himself a second time into the waiting hands of Sendo, of Taxer, and they kill everyone. You can see it here. Venzer doesn't quite connect with the knock-up. It was a good try, and he's so overextended here, but watch where they try and go for the engage, and that solar flare locks him up on the backside, and unfortunately Rit comes in just as he's coming into that mini Gnar form, which you really don't want for these team fights. And as well, look how far away the Rise is. There's no way for Aaron to get in. By the time he joins the fight, it's already over, and he's just walking into the back line to die.
I was gonna ask, I was like, oh my god, Hado, he didn't die in that fight. And I was like, no, he died.
Then respawned,
Stand United, and then died again.
So
after
that is actually came back to some clutch patch notes from Riot Games, where you respawn faster. If he had respawned 2 seconds later, we were like, okay, no, this is a terrible idea.
And also waste the the stopwatch that he had, and we actually see maybe a potential dive in this top side. Xenoblade does not hit, but the hop has been used there, actually not going to be able to kill him on this one right now.
Oh,
Rift
wait,
play
no,
is actually going to be able to get the full stun off of it. He has Mega Knight coming up, but here is the Glacial Prison, able to get a lot of damage down there onto Rift. Not quite able to deter it with the Sejuani ultimate, and they are able to push in onto that top turret. They should be able to take it. Bot lane, though, is also replying in kind.
2-0 down, and finally Excel have woken up. This is what we expected them out of them from the get-go. It's coming in this game 3. Maybe they can continue forward, but Enclave are most certainly on the back foot now.
Yeah, Enclave gonna try and reply, and they will, but they will lose a Rift Herald. They're not gonna be able to respond with that either with a Dragon, because you would imagine that Excel will be able to rotate down towards that. They do trade the turrets, but overall 7-3, only a 2,000 gold lead as such. Aaron with the clutch Ruin Prison, able to stop that taunt from coming in, because I feel like if he's hit there, no cleanse, no flash, he's dead.
Yeah, he had to skedaddle very quickly. He manages to escape out on the bottom side. Just kind of playing down towards his own vision. You can see where he's positioned in the lane, made it a little bit harder for them to go for that play, but it's plays that they're going for and plays that they're succeeding on. Enclave, this is pretty risky. Actually, I say that, but multiple members of Excel are backing, so we'll be able to pick this up, but still could have been very badly, so at least they're picking up something for themselves.
I was going to say, XL had the opportunity to just take the Rift Herald and then immediately rotate towards the Dragon, or even reset and then go towards the Dragon. They decided to go for the kill onto the mid lane. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them, which delayed them another 10-15 seconds, which opens up the door to Enclave to pick up a Dragon. And Mountain Drake is nothing to scoff at, especially when you've got something like a Rise or a Swain that when they get towards towers and the AP scalings, they can actually take them down very quickly.
It's worked out well for them so far. Will end up picking up the first Drake, but have given over the Rift Herald. And if I'm on XL's side, I'm happier to have that Rift Herald, especially with how much pressure they have been putting down. The foot has not come off the gas pedal just yet. I'm looking to see where... I'm assuming that's going to be going in towards that mid lane, but they also have that bottom lane turret. They might want to try and etch out first.
Yeah, we can't deny as well. XL have kind of had... Lady luck on their side for the first few minutes as such of this game, because top lane, Sendu picks up a kill that realistically he should not have picked up. Bot lane, we see an engage. It's very, very botched from the side. I say that though, here we go with the Galio ultimate. This is the combination we were talking about in pre-game, and the damage is huge. Get dunked, it's a double kill. It could potentially be a triple kill. It won't, but it'll still be 3 kills. And now XL have come alive. They are looking for the second turret in the mid lane, and they are going to be able to get it. There's no wave clear. They can keep going.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. XL are tearing through the base right now. 15 minutes into the game, they're taking in hip turrets.
This is the power of a Rift Herald. This is why you need to play around it so well, and they're not stopping there. Taxer gets the final blow onto Rift, and that is in 15-minute inhibitor. Rift coming up huge, rather Rift Herald coming up huge.
I mean, this has just been phenomenal play, just tearing through. You can see here, the pillar onto Rise was brilliant. Actually managed to catch out Munkus as well. Solar Flare comes down, there's lockup, and there's no way for Enclave to help out the members that are stuck. There's just too much CC coming down, too much zone control there as well. And Enclave are left with their tails between their legs to scuttle back towards the base as Rift Herald just wails through these towers. And then you can see again, Rift tries to get in again in mini-arm form. I'm not sure what his idea was here, but easy apprehend, easy pick up for them, and they're just dominating this game. What? Where did this Excel come from?
Where were they more like? It was kind of a thing where we were kind of saying Excel not looking like the team we were used to seeing, not looking like the kind of people who are used to dominating the games, playing methodically, having a game plan. And right now, this game has just been blown wide open. You need, especially at this early stage of the game, need to commit multiple members to deal with multiple threats around the map. And Taxer picks himself up a pretty free kill. Aaron, what are you doing there?
I mean, it's fair to be down there. You don't really expect 4 members to be there, but it's when you've already got super minions pushing down the mid lane, that's your 6th man right now. This isn't usually not where you're at this stage. You're like, hey, look, I can go defend this turret and bot. But
he wasn't defending it. He pushed up the lane and was running away. He tried to take Krugs, and that's how he got caught. Okay, that's over-aggressive.
A wee bit.
A wee bit over-aggressive. But another tower, though, for XL. They are accelerating this game to their pace, and Enclave have no answer right now.
No, they've got absolutely nothing. Excel now are threatening them away from this tower, and this is just something that you got to give up. So, yes, you've got Rift on this top lane turret, but that doesn't really matter. You're missing your inhib, you're missing your bottom lane tier 2, and You can see the TP comes through from Rippy as well. They might even be able to keep that top lane turret safe.
Yeah, and that's a win-win-win. Yes, you commit the teleport, but you've got another one onto Sendu, so your split pull pressure is still very relevant. Galio still has his ultimate with the hero's entrance, and it's still a fantastic thing for him to get onto this. But I want to look at Darius's build. He's finally got the Triforce. He is miles and away ahead of Gnar, but he's also looking towards what I think could be a ZZ Rod.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Raptor's cloak there, so definitely looks like he's working up. What's the other thing? No, there is something else, and it's completely blanked my mind right now. Because he's not going to be quite working up towards it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to double check that because I cannot think in my head right now where it is. But anyway, he's also going to be working up, I think, towards that phage as well, towards that black cleaver. So I think it was just to get that little bit of extra armor against the Gnar just in the early stages to keep himself nice and safe. But now that he's 4, 1, and 7, doesn't really have to worry too much about how much damage this Gnar can build out if he can actually just get on top of him.
Yeah, we'll see exactly if the Gnar, now with the Black Cleaver, has a little bit more poke damage, able to knock down some of these, tanky members of the side of XL, like the Leona and the Trundle. But what are you going to do? You can't do anything right now. You have about, 2 more minutes of super minions popping into the mid lane, which you have to send multiple members because your Ryze hasn't got enough damage to deal with them, nor does the Swain. So you have to send multiple members to deal with it. And this could be just another engage coming out here from the side of XL. It's 4v4. They're actually going to drop down the subjugate. There is the ultimate use, and they're going to jump and commit everything onto Bendy. Stan United goes on top of him, but it's just not enough to fall. 3, 4 potentially going down as Rift, as he comes in, he's immediately back out. Leona does fall, but she'll take that. And at less than 20 minutes, we could be seeing an XL win coming in here. They're trying to just take those inhibitor turrets. They will be able to take that inhibitor on the top side. Venzer forced the flash away, but Sendu's playing a perfect keep away right now. Does actually bring back Rift, forces his flash. Now Rift will have his mini Gnar. He should be fine to get out. But that is 2 inhibitors pre-20 minutes going down. XL, this is what you needed to do.
And I feel like this is kind of something that they were holding on to, because this is something entirely different from what we've seen before. Obviously they were, look, we're in a clutch situation, we got to bring out the big dogs, we got to bring out something, and this is the combo that they've gone for, and my god, have they executed on this perfectly. I mean, you have a handful of deaths onto the Leona, 1 onto the Darius, and realistically, Quickset is on a champion where you're going in to die. You've done your job, you've got everyone that you need to, just that's all you're used for. So outside of that, it's pretty much a perfect game from XL.
Yeah, it's really doing fantastically well, and like we said, apart from a couple of missteps in the early game, and like I said as well, some very good kind of very good luck kind of on their side as such, good decent moves and getting out with just about a little bit of health as the mid lane inhibitor respawns. And the fact that we're talking about that at 20 minutes is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Not even that it goes down at 20 minutes, it respawns at 20 minutes.
And this is just going to make Baron so much easier for the side of XL as well, because Enclave cannot touch them. They can just walk it into the base, take up another inhib. You've got 2 inhibs down for Enclave, and XL are like, cool, come and even try touches at Baron.
Yeah, there's nothing they can really do right now, and the Yasuo building up towards that IE has got the 2 BSOs, and we actually see no cleanse or flash,
fancy feed.
He's got happy feet, he doesn't care. He's got bop bop bop, and he's able to get out of there. I don't know what bop 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 is. I don't know what bop 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 is, but he's got it.
He's got it.
You don't need to know
what it is. You just need to know he's got it.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
If you have to ask, you'll never
have it.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. But we're going to be looking at the replay here as you can see bop, bop, bop. Yes. Perfect.
It's just what you have. Now, this is what you were talking about. Baron has spawned. We're 21 minutes into the game, nearly 22. No vision control whatsoever for Enclave, and they can't run up to this whatsoever. They have no way of knowing what's going on. And we just see now, Rippy is just going to keep interference, but actually they might try and use this as a little bit of an engage.
Ooh, not quite.
Not quite able to turn onto this though. Shen able to back away fairly swiftly, but that's the threat that XL have now, Ro.
Yeah, and if I'm looking at this from Enclave's side, I got to look at, like, where did it all go wrong? Where have we all just left the bandwagon? If it's a scoundrel, he's shouting, you picked Swain from the high tops. But outside of that, where did it go wrong? And I think you got to look at, it's kind of gone wrong in this bot lane where you haven't really had the pressure that you had before. Monkus was doing great at getting in when he was on the Gragas pick at disrupting this matchup, but hasn't found his opening this time around. And when you've got Ripley on something like the Galio, he's able to turn it so heavily in their favor. I think you got to try and limit something like get rid of the Galio, just because it gave them so many options to just continuously focus this bot lane.
So mid inhibitor has been retaken. As we see that Hado just about misses the Zenith Blade, has to taunt away, but there is a fairly sizable minion block, or minion wave if you like.
It's a block with the size of that thing.
Yeah,
is.
it's like it's huge, and it's gonna have to be dealt with right now by the side of XL. So their push has been put on pause. Their Baron play has been put on pause, but for how long?
It's 22 minutes into the game and you're talking about it being on pause. I mean,
we've had enough today.
Yes. I mean, it's 23 minutes. They're 9k goal. Actually, it was 8k and goal ahead, but it's still just a monumental task for Enclave to try and go back and look at the health of the Nexus turrets.
Oh my, and that's just from that's literally just from super minions.
Yep.
There's nothing else coming in from that, and that's what I was talking about even just like 2 or 3 minutes ago. They still don't have the damage to deal with them right now. Ryze takes time to ramp up, so does Swain. Gnar doesn't have the items right now to be dealing with waves.
They have 2 inhibs before they have a dragon.
That's silly.
That shouldn't be a thing.
That should not be a thing. Nor a Baron.
No.
Yeah, like literally.
It's just like, how about we don't take anything except, win?
You know what? That's a good strat. But they've actually abandoned the Baron, and now they're looking towards that last inhibitor turret. And honestly, I kind of like this play right now, because you don't need to go for a 50-50. You don't need to go for a crazy fight. You know you're just straight up stronger. Put them into a situation where they have to fight you.
And even Enclave realized that they're so much stronger. Like, look at Ryze's build. The Frozen Heart picked up just to try and keep themselves safe.
Galio will one-shot him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you haven't got the items. You're so far behind, and here comes the engage.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to see the Shoulder Gate drop down there. We're going to get the last breath down, as well as the ultimate from Leona and Galio's Hero's entrance, as the rest of the fight does kind of come in. 6-man kind of working out for the side of Enclave as they do take down the Darius. They're trying to go in on top of this, but it's actually Quickset who's forced to flash away as Ryze flashes in. He's got 2 kills. He may be able to get more. Taxter will go down. They are turning this one around 4-for-2 in favor of the side of Enclave, as they now use the Ryze ultimate to try and deal with this inhibitor that was going down. Yasuo, the only one to stay alive. XL not quite respecting the summoners that were available.
Yeah, they weren't quite able to make that one work. Also having that Zonya's available for Bendy. If you watch the engage here, they're consistently picking up Bendy with the Trundle pillar, and it's such a nice combo between Yasuo and Trundle to pull off. But once they do, Demonic Ascension comes out and straight into Zonya's. There's nothing that you can do in that situation, and they're committing all of their resources into that area of the map. So Monkus goes down, the rest of the fight is able to continue on, and then big Gnar ultimate comes through from Rift. Actually, that was really the saving grace in that fight, where he was just able to keep so many members locked up, particularly in tower aggro as well, and was able to turn around. But I feel like if I'm on the side of Enclave, Lady Luck, as you were saying, was entirely in their favor in that one. It was so many different variables came together to give them that fight. They're not quite out of the woodwork yet.
Yeah, as you said, we didn't even notice the massive Gnarl. The spectator, or the directed camera, not quite giving us that angle, unfortunately. But fantastic work by our observers on the replay to be able to show us that after the fact. But, that's a big turnaround as well. That stops a lot of this kind of, big kind of push coming out from XL. It gives a lot of gold over to, Aaron, and also to the Gnar, who was fairly low down, now has 2.5 items, almost pretty much equal in terms of where Darius is. So that's not really a big deal because of the amount of CS he's picked up as well. But where do you go here from XL? You now know that that fight just didn't work, and that was probably where you were going to be at your strongest. Where do you go?
Well, I mean, I'm just kind of want to pull back to your first point, and was look at the CS kind of for mid as well. I mean, a lot of these guys are ahead, but they're starting to kind of waver off a little bit. I mean, if you look at actually just count items, it's 2 items and a bit for Darius. It's 2 items and a bit for Gnar. It's, the 2 items for Trundle. You got almost the second item there for the, like it's kind of, there are splashes of possibilities there if they can get it, but definitely not if Excel can pick up this Baron. But I don't think Bendy or Monkus can really do the hero play this time around.
No, they actually back away immediately. They don't want to actually have anything to do with this. They actually Turn off, turn back on. There is a blue trinket now on it. They have Sejuani and Rise off on the backside. Double pink ward. While Gnar is now TPing over. He was pushing in that top side. TP comes in now onto the backside.
He's cancelled it.
They back away. They cancel it. They get a turret. And now Baron has been reset. They're going to try and go back on top of this. They now know they have no real kind of threat from the Gnar. Super minions are taking the base, but the inhibitor has respawned. So they won't be able to take any Nexus turrets down. Rise, though, has to deal with that. It's actually a bit of a turnaround.
They've taken so much damage.
They've taken so much damage. They're turning off. Hado is going to be able to get away from this. I think he might.
Oh,
no! Clipped by the Steel Tempest. And that is actually going to be Gnar taking a free inhib only for a kill. You take that.
Yeah, they are going back onto Baron, though. He's on the inhib. Where is Bendy right now? He needs to be alongside Aaron to try and force them away from this.
They can't take this.
They're taking so much damage, and Enclave are picking up so much. This is Excel throwing heavily at Baron. Not what I expected.
That is not what I wanted to see right there. That was such an uncharacteristic XL thing. There was no clear call. There was no clear decision. It was, oh go, oh come back, oh go, oh come back. They didn't want the 50-50. If you don't want the 50-50, you hard commit for the fight. They just didn't do either.
And decisiveness from Enclave as well, because they were like, look, we're not going for the fight. Rift, just go for it. Just gun it down to the bottom lane, see what you can get. And they get everything that they could have possibly wanted. And if we're looking at the vulnerable inhibs that are around right now, if I'm on the side of Enclave, I'm like, look, we can give up maybe the top inhib or whatever, but you're still able to protect those lanes and pressure Baron. If you're on the side of XL, you need someone now heavily committed to keeping that bottom lane safe, because those super minions can tear through.
And that's the thing as well. Bottom lane is the furthest away from that Baron. That is the big issue right now for the side of XL. They now have an issue where, how do we deal with this? If we haven't got TP available for Rippy or Sendu, we cannot deal with this. So Baron has become a very, very big, and what we were looking at 10,000 gold lead, it's nothing. It's 1,000. It's not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, I've got to give it to Enclave though. They have, yes, they fell behind early, but they have been turtling so well. Now they're bringing it back, and they do have the possibilities of taking, maybe not taking these fights just yet because of how well it's going, but it is a possibility that they can turn these fights around.
The big thing I want to point out right now is the item differential between Galio and Rise. Rise has got 3.5 items. He's nearly towards his death cap. That is a huge amount of damage that's able to just kind of machine gun, bop, all the way through the fight. If they're not able to kill off Aaron very quickly, they may be in a little bit of trouble, but maybe they don't need to have to.
They only got Monkies.
They only get Monkies on top of that, but here comes the Galio ultimate, and there's just so much damage as we see Bendy trying to do a little bit. Yasuo gets the double kill, maybe a triple as they try and jump in on top of this. Bendy, though, forced to go golden, hasn't got the Demon Flare anymore. It's a triple kill. Maybe they go back onto Aaron. He's trying to clean up house right now. He's forced to flash away. Will they get the taunt onto him? They won't, because it's a good ruin prison. Quickset jumps in, flashes, misses the Zenith Blade. Now we're in a little bit of a difficult situation. Will they be able to get him? He kills him. It's only a 1 for 2. As all this was happening, Sendu is trying to deal with Rift right now on the bot side.
This is so unbelievably close. Sendo can no longer deal with Gnar because he's got the frozen mallet. It's too difficult for him to try and take on that 1v1.
And the Bork.
Yeah, exactly. And at this stage, it just means that Excel, or Enclave even though they're still not able to take these fights, they're way closer than they were. We can see at the beginning here, the Trundle Pillar only connects with Monkies, which means that they're able to back up a little bit, but Hado cannot get onto the members that he wants. And Bendy and Aaron are kind of forced away from the fight because of Rippy, but watch Aaron. He's consistently just on the backline dishing out the damage he needs, and Bendy doesn't. You were already saying, look, Aaron is the one that's very farmed up. Aaron is the one that they really need to worry about, and this is the reason why. Is because he can deal so much. But props to Aaron. He played this fight magnificently, dodged so much to get away, and even manages to pick up Venzer on the back of it. Like, if that was incredible play.
He's got the bop.
The bop. You said it.
He's got the bop.
And now that he has the rabbit on deck guy coming up soon, he's got the bop.
Yes, it's ridiculous. So many bops. But that is a big question right now for the side of XL. Can they deal with it? Because you saw how quickly Monkes went down once the Subjugate went down. It was like, cool. Oh, he's so tanky. Never mind. All stats stolen. He gets blown up. However, this Aaron is so big right now. He's got so much going for him that if he's able to stay alive and stay safe, he's had so much potential to turn these fights around. Now, the big thing, though, for the side of Enclave is that no cleanse, no flash, and they need to try and keep him safe.
Yeah. BP, though, I'm starting to believe. I don't want to, but I'm starting. Enclave.
That will get sounds back soon?
Sound back soon. In more than this, but also that Enclave can make the play, because right now Rift is pushing on towards inhib turrets. Oh, the Hado!
They're going to go in.
They're
on
going
top
for the
of
end.
They're going for the end. If they can kill off Sendu, they know they can do this. He's actually taking a lot of damage, but the double turrets is huge. It's a trade of top laners, but Bendy's in no man's land, and he will fall. It's a botched play for Enclave as the Baron becomes the key part as well. Super minions in the top side. There's still super minions in the bot lane, so we need to keep an eye. They are still going to go for this. They need to go for this. There are still super minions. We need to keep an eye on this because they may lose an inhibitor turret off this.
This is a 50-50 as well. They're both even on the smite. They're both the same level. This could turn into a quick set. Is trying to play the keep away game, as is Rippy, but they aren't tearing through this fast enough.
They need to go for this very, very quickly as they go in. They haven't got full vision of it though. Aaron has full mana. They have to back away from this. Hado, though, does back away. That tentacle knockup from the side of the Baron actually stopped a lot of that re-engage. And also, in favor of XL, their inhibitor has respawned. We are actually going to see them now try and go defend that, but now Enclave have priority over this Baron.
Yeah, they don't really have the damage to take this down very fast. They need Aaron there with them. And they need a lot more, actually, to be honest, because they don't even have Rift there. He's kind of the one with the percentage health damage. But you can see here, Rift goes for the engage. And I can see Hado starts the TP, and I'm assuming it's the ult, and I'm assuming it's the Trundle Pillar just comes in and bops him to stop him. Still gives Rift enough of the shield that he can then go for the play. It's Sterex that came through. That was really the clutch moment there for Ascendo. And then Bendy ends up aggressive.
Yeah, actually, we're going straight back into the action as Baron has been started up again. No one from Enclave is around. They can shred through this. Sejuani is not here. Sejuani is away. This is not a 50-50. This is XL taking this Baron for themselves. They finally, after about 20 attempts, finally get the Baron, potentially have now got the power to end this game and bring us to a game 4.
Yeah, this is going to be very hard for Enclave, and it's also shut down the one shining light for them, which was Rift split pushing the bottom lane. With those Baroned up minions in that bottom lane, they're not going to be able to push in just as they did. It's going to be way easier for Sendo to defend against that, and suddenly XL have found the piece that they needed for their puzzle.
Is it too late, though? We're going to have a little bit of a pause and talk about the state of the game right now, because we're at 34 minutes into the game, 35 minutes. We're at crazy, crazy amounts of items for pretty much everybody. Let's have a look at this fight here. As we see now, Shen, how does he get hung?
Yeah, it's going to be the Trundle Pillar, pops up. And Venzer, actually, that... I don't like the follow-up with Venzer's ultimate there. I think that you actually could have kept that, and then, yeah, you're going to take out Bendy here regardless, but it means that then you could have continued this fight after. So say here you're able to get Rippy onto one of these members, maybe you're able to pick them off, or even able to get, you know, the Trundle Pillar to come down onto some other connection there. I think it could have worked out a heap better.
Yeah, microphone will be turned on, I'm sure.
Just mime it.
Sometimes I just need to like mime until it gets turned on.
Vogue yourself in.
Is it a movie?
It's, feels like one in the length of this game.
No. What he was meant to do was just throw.
Yeah, the absolute focus on Baron was definitely an issue for XL, although we are back in the game. So we'll talk about it afterwards.
We'll get your opinion very soon. We'll just fade into the background.
I'm going to fade away, boys.
Yeah. Oh, goodbye. We've been visited by a scoundrel. And we're gone as well. So, coming in 35 minutes into this game, Dragon is only a Cloud Drake, so neither side's going to take that. That's going to delay Elder Drake a little bit more, so we're probably not going to see that till pretty much 42 minutes into the game, so that's not really a win condition for either side right now. Baron buff, they're barreling up to this mid lane as XL just want to try and get this. They have the damage, they have the capabilities, and it looks like the side of Enclave are just going to give this up.
Yeah, I don't think you can really find the engage they want unless you're looking at Rift with this monstrous ultimate that he can try and pull off. But the Mega Gnar isn't available quite yet, coming up very soon. And this where you might see XL getting a little bit antsy, actually, because they're grouping up a lot.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they need to back the hell away from that Mega Gnar. Now, that's actually a pretty okay situation from them. Mega Gnar is hit. They didn't have a minion wave. They can now take that out. By the time they go back, no Mega Gnar. Now they're a little bit safer to go in on top of this. But Bot lane is now pushing for the side of XL. They've got that lane management down, so they will potentially have a massive wave pushing into that inhibitor turret in about 2 or 3 minutes, so, or maybe even about a minute or so, and they're actually going to get the inhibitor pretty much scot-free. As we see now, Monkiz, apprehend does not hit, everyone backs away. Ooh, you can feel the tension.
Okay, so this is where you got to look at, if I'm on Enclave, do you want to just go for the Drake and see if you can pick up that third one, and means that you've got, by the time that just after the Baron spawn, you've got that big Elder Drake and go for it. 3 Drakes is nothing to sniff at, but it's also a case of, can you go for the fight at that dragon if you decide to go for it? Because you're going to have to fight for Elder Drake. They're not spawning at similar times, so it could be a case of that's where you find the big ultimate as Rift, or it could also be the case that you're just not in a position and you hand over an Elder Drake to Excel.
XL do not want this Drake to go down, because in their mind, Cloud Drake does not give them anything. If anything, it just gives another opportunity for Enclave to come back into this. They are going to leave this dragon up for so long that it's literally going to become a redundant point of the map. Most people would say yes, take it, but at this stage in the game, Cloud Drake just gives you nothing. Rippy actually caught out, does get hit by the Glacial Prison, trying to get the taunt, gets a 4-man taunt actually, and a lot of damage on the Bendy as everyone comes in. Here's the last breath, and now the fight has begun. Solo Flare does not hit onto anybody. The center blade neither, also misses, but Monkiz has fallen down. Now we see Aaron coming in. Here comes the grand entrance, or the hero's entrance I should say, as they finally take down Bendy. It's 3 people going down. Aaron is trying his best to just put down damage. He's got a huge shield, but he's just not got the teammates. He takes Leona and nothing else. Triple kill for the Yasuo. He finishes up 11, 1, and 14, and XL are bringing us to game 4.
We are going to game 4, and what a way for XL to do it. It was a clean early game, shaky moments in that mid to late game, but they bring home the win. Really, it looked like actually Excel's game to lose. Enclave came close, but didn't have the damage to try and finish that out. Aaron and Bendy just could not find the fight where they could tear through a Galio, tear through the Darius and the Trundle, and it just ended up going completely out of their hands.
I actually don't know what you said for the last 45 seconds of that game.
I think I was literally just naming abilities. I was just like...
It was like a, you know, like a typewriter, just like... Anyway.
Very exciting.
That was really exciting to watch, but also really painful to watch, especially that middle portion of the game for XL. Very happy they get a win on the board. It's created a bit more of an intense series for us to get our teeth into. I think Yasuo becomes a ban now for... either side, to be honest.
I was going to say, if you're red side now, XL swap over to side, they have to ban it. They have to drop whatever their ban. You know, they obviously still have to ban Aatrox, they still have to ban the Yasuo. They only get one realistic ban because Yasuo has been the linchpin for every single one of these compositions. Yeah,
absolutely. I think overall, it was a good win for XL. I mean, the scores certainly look like they stomped Enclave. If you look at pretty much every carry score there, Venza specifically on that Yasuo was hugely impactful. Incredible performance from him. You could see why he... I just think Ferndog should have been prioritizing that earlier on for him. I mean, if he plays like that on it every time, incredible stuff.
I think that's the big thing, though, is that, sorry, we're only looking at scoring tournament 2. Like, he's got 3 and 4 to think about. So, do XL really want to be showing their hand this early? Well, and I think that was the idea, was that we hang on to this, so then the next time we need it.
They've already shown the Yasuo, right? Once or twice.
They showed it yesterday, and they smashed with it. But I think it was definitely something that I don't think they wanted to show exactly how strong with it. Venza does actually botch this little bit of an engage. I like the idea from it. Doesn't quite get it, but it ends up being such a good turnaround just purely because of how simple and clean it is to combo with this XL comp.
That Leona right there, super. And actually, I was actually listening in on the XL or watching the XL chat. A lot of the guys saying, "Oh, are they tilted? What's going on?" And apparently, before this game, lots of quiet faces for XL. And Quickseth said, "I want to play Leona." Wasn't Ferndog. Quickseth said, "Just give me Leona, trust me."
And on the third game, he rose again in accordance to the scriptures and gave XL a series versus Enclave.
I think this is like we said from the draft, easier to execute for XL. It had a clear game plan. It was Venza being the focus, which I think primarily should always be the case for XL. He's, for me, if you even look at the damage charts every single time, the one that pops off the most in terms of damage output. If Venza's the focus for XL, I always favor them. If Venza is on a less direct hyper carry, like something like a Swain, which can be a hyper carry, but I mean, I just don't think, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get the hype about Swain.
It's
I don't know.
still got 100% loss rate in this series.
I don't get the Swain hype. Am I the only one that doesn't buy into Swain at the moment?
Yeah.
Well, Swain, I feel, is like one of those champions that like can take over a game if you're a massive player and you're LCS caliber. But it just at these levels, I know we're still at ERL, but bop. Happy feet from Aaron.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it really does feel bad, man. But
it was good happy feet. Though.
Yeah, he's watched the movie obviously, and Happy Feet too.
I didn't watch either.
That's how you get the third bop.
Yeah, you got it. It's how you know which way to go.
So now we need to reflect, because XL are pulling a classic XL and put themselves in a position where they could reverse sweep this entire series. Enclave certainly didn't look the usual Enclave, but I think XL were just in a groove in that game. I think Rifty, even despite getting dunked consistently early on, had huge impact on the Gnar. His build path was super aggressive, split push orientated build path with the Blade of the Ruin King and the Frozen Mallet coming through. That kind of says that I want to 1v1 the whole game. And he did find a lot of love in that bot lane. Darius, like we know with the Gnar matchup, eventually just cannot deal with him, especially when that Frozen Mallet Black Cleaver combo comes down. And Rifty, I think, was good, especially on a split push roll there, but the rest of XL just had such clean engage. Quickseth driving those cool shots, cool shots with the Leona there, and you could see that when he was in command of the engages, they had a really clean execution in most scenarios. Wobbles in the mid game around Baron need to be cleaned up for XL. You can't let that happen again if you want to take this series.
Big wobbles.
Yeah.
I actually think that if there was just more damage on the side of Enclave, they actually could have turned that.
Well,
I think if they had an ADC or something.
Let's have a look at the damage stats, actually, because they are going to be coming on your screen. Whoa, that is a surprise. The Galio, I guess the AoE potential of the Galio, where you've got the huge percentage health-based junk from him, often gets a little bit understated. Venz is still outputting a huge, but Rifty and... why is the mid laner just...
Sorry? Rippy and
Aaron.
Sorry, I was like,
I was looking at the two of you, just like, really?
Just blanked. It just blanked. Yeah, I mean, they also had huge damage outputs this game. Honestly, I think impressive performances from those people you can see at the top end of the damage charts. I think Aaron had a good game on the rise too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you look at like the two carries is in Galio and Yasuo versus Ryze and Swain. It's 39k damage coming through for the side of Enclave and nearly 50k coming through for the side of XL. And I think it just shows that
Swain sucks.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's just not consistent damage when you go into a big, beefy front line like a Darius, a Trundle, a Galio, and even the Leona. You just
Swain
can't
works in
get
really high
them.
CC teams, right? Because it sets things up so nicely for him with his his passive. But
this was a big turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really good. It was a great engage coming through, and the Gnar ultimate was fantastic. And I thought that this was kind of the point where you're going to go, okay, maybe Rift sticks with the team, and it's just a little bit more CC just to try and keep them pass over that line. I think in some situations, if they had Rift there, and he was in Mega Arm form, I think they actually could have turned it, but it was smart call to go for the split push and try and get Sendo away. But it was such a tough game for Enclave to play, and I just felt that if they put Bendy onto a carry, not gone with the Swain, sorry, not onto a carry, but onto an AD carry, and not onto the Swain, I think it would have worked out a lot better.
I was going to say that every single fight we saw where the Galio jumps in, Aaron goes this way and then Bendy goes that. They're not able to combo, they're kind of, kiting away, and then Aaron has to back away, and then, he's always behind the play because Bendy's running that way, he's trying to catch up, and everyone's just chasing him, so by the time Aaron's actually able to combo with the Swain, it didn't really, mean much, as, it just meant that he was, left by himself at the end of it, so.
Tell Rifty he's becoming a father. That Mundo play in round 2 made me pregnant from Valgard. That's a...
I have so many questions.
I mean, me too. He's having twins.
Yeah.
When's the birth? What's the expect date?
The end of this series.
The end of this series.
Gestation is quick for me.
And it's now a series.
You went to medical school, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually a doctor.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's a fully qualified doctor. And here you are. But this is the thing I was talking about.
This was so sick.
Yeah.
You see Bendy just kind of on one side. Aaron's not with the fight. He's over on the other side. Bendy gets chunked. And now he's just constantly running away. Aaron can't combo with the 2 damage dealers.
I feel like this was like Cons playing LCK, where it was Bendy was like, we got him, come here, and he just pulls him into a 4-man taunt. You actually look, he couldn't move there. It was just Bendy going, hey, I think you need a bit of shove here. It
was more that I mean, this is such a well-timed hero's entrance from the Galio. Look at that perfect. knock
couldn't
about
have
the
That is
Zhonya's.
pixel perfect.
That is like speed running pixel perfect
Yeah.
right there. That was a massive all-in onto a Galio, who admittedly was a fairly damage-heavy Galio. He got a full combo off with the taunt into the Q, into the Justice Punch, and then Zhonya'd.
Yeah.
And then everybody was able to collapse on him. That was an incredible stall out, and that gave XL the ability to win this game out. Really clever stuff from them, and it was a messy game. I'm not going to say that they played well. They did, but there was a huge portion in the mid game where they absolutely flopped. They can't let that happen again. I mean, now for Enclave, they need to just recollect their thoughts.
I was just about to say, like, what XL can do from this win is you had a fantastic early game. That is literally what you take from that. It's like, okay, we're not getting stomped in the early game anymore. Let's just take that and really try and push that into a much cleaner mid game and cleaner games.
Yeah, so it's been exciting so far. It is 2-1 to Enclave. Can Enclave seal it out in the 4th game of the evening? Well, you'll find out after the break.